Had a restraining order against showing up at City Hall.
Yeah.
That's what he opened up. He belongs to both Antifa and the LB.
How you doing, man? Good, man. Good job so far. You guys are doing a great job! Great job! Thanks for the attention! At least the energy is good. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish though.
There's a rumor about who owns Canada. New bill forbidding fishing in northern waters. Well, that could be an interesting topic. I mean, it's the it's the Rothschilds that own Suncor, and Suncor owns basically the oil sands, central bank, all the good stuff, along with the Norwegian Prime Minister Emmanuel Macron and whatever fucking Rothschild pedo people that got fucking fingered by John Seeley are also going to be there. The tranny crew. That's the diversity crew. How white people are so bad. And, you know, white nationalism is just going to be the absolute terror. So from what I can tell, if you talk about the Commonwealth, not including the states, because they're not going in with this agreement, you talk about New Zealand and you talk about Canada, it doesn't really look all that bad, does it? What the fucking royals are doing, it's probably no coincidence that Harry had to go out and get him a dark-skinned woman. Mind you, she's fucking smoking hot, Meghan Markle. Jesus. Le Pen, good for her for getting in. Well, now Toronto is brown. It's brown. That's the way it is. There's a thing called the White Belt. I don't know if you've heard of it. I've explained it a few times. It surrounds the GTA. It's where all the white people went like this after the brown explosion. And there's this belt of communities that have been built up, like Barrie and everything else, that used to be called the White Belt. It started in Oakville, Milton, Georgetown, Erin, Acton, and it just went all the way around to Oshawa. And now it's just fucking getting further and further out. And people are moving away. There's people running away to North Bay, Sudbury. Those towns are going to get bigger because they're all running away. Eventually, somebody needs to blow up the 400 and just seal off the Canadian Shield and just say, you know what, Toronto, you're on your own. We're done. That's it. Buy the explosives. America will sell them to you. You know they got some backdoor deals, some tannerite, some TNT. And we just lay out the fucking Canadian Shield. You know when you're driving on that one highway going up north and there's fucking all these little nanooks and everything all set up, those stone Canadian statues that you see at the side of the highway that everybody likes to build when they're stopping to take a piss. Somewhere when nobody's going by, we're just going to have to say, sorry, guys. I'll leave a sign on the rocks, gone fishing, and just cut her off. We're just going to have to cut our losses. Unfortunately, I'm part of those losses, so I may have to be the guy to get the charges and just say, done. We're done. We're moving north. Around the trailers. We're going north.
abrupt ending at the end of the intro.
God. Our country has been hijacked. The roof is going to come down and bury everybody under it who doesn't see it coming.
Not only do you have the engineers of the building saying that we designed it for that sort of impact, and the engineers, like literally the guy with his name, the same name as the fucking plane, saying that it's impossible to run it into a fucking building. It's like, okay, well, you got two scientific, if that's the big word being thrown around now, especially with climate fucking change. If the science is real, these are the two of the smartest motherfuckers out there. They engineered one of the biggest buildings in the world and one of the biggest planes in the world, and they're telling you it's impossible. But fuck it. Let's go along with the official story.
Yeah, and it's outrageous, man.
I'm going to catch shit for this on my live streams. I wouldn't be surprised if they write an article about this one.
Really?
9/11 denier is fucking part of the PPC. I didn't say there's no way you can deny 9/11. First off, I might as well try and debunk whatever they're trying to say ahead of time. You can't deny it. We're just asking what actually happened, and we're asking questions. And if you can't answer those questions, shut the fuck up.
Yep, that's what I've been doing the whole. And I like how they sneakily use these words that have negative connotations attached. Denier. Are you a denier? Like
he's a 9/11 denier.
You're a Holocaust
never
denier.
Fucking happened. Never fucking happened. No planes, no nothing. I've never met anybody directly involved, so it didn't happen.
Yeah. Like in my World War II class, I had my students pore through the speeches and letters of Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Oh, what a guy. He was actually a massive piece of shit, but anyway. But it just, everything they teach you about that war is so skewed and wrong. And I'm not saying the Nazis were good guys. I'm definitely not. I'm not saying I'm pro-Nazi, because I'm very much pro-free speech. I'm very much, libertarian-minded kind of guy. And the Nazis definitely would not have liked comedians or anybody like me that made ridicule, or they would have had me killed for fucking sure. So I'm not saying that. What I am saying is they were not exceptionally evil, They're just another government doing shitty things like everybody else was doing shitty things, but they lost. They lost. So they got the loser, the dunce cap. Because he regarded the British as ethnically Aryan. We're like the same. We're like, you know, cousins. We shouldn't be fighting each other. It's stupid. And he didn't want to fight the English because he liked them. And he liked them. I think he had an instinct to kind of pay them back, because in the First World War, and again, a lot of people don't know this either, Hitler, like it or not, again, I'm just saying, it's true, was a war hero. He had the Knight's Cross first and second class. They don't just give those away. He was a runner, volunteered to be a runner, which was like basically a suicidal job, to ferry messages back and forth between companies. Entire regiment he was in was wiped out, by the way. He survived, miraculously, many times. And I'm not saying I love Hitler. I'm just saying, you got to give... In my World War II class, I had my students pore through the speeches and letters of Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Oh, what a guy. He was actually a massive piece of shit. Trump is a huge troll. So was Hitler. He did the same kind of thing. He made super sarcastic, ridiculed remarks about his political opponents all the time. And if you watch his old speeches with like the actual sit and watch them for an hour, and you're like, there's a lot less crazy shit here than I thought there'd be. And there's a lot more like, he's making a good fucking point, you know, about geopolitics and stuff. And if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but that's how it is. He, when they I think it was the Nuremberg laws they passed in 1935. Hitler was Man of the Year, Time Magazine, 1938, by the way. So he imposed the Nuremberg race laws, which made Jews like, you know, yeah, you're kind of you're not real. You're not real people. You don't have the same rights as us. That was 1935. 1938, he was Man of the Year. In 1936, they had the Olympics, and everybody came, and they loved it. They said it was the best Olympics ever. Nobody had any fucking problem with that. Apparently, different time. But, fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. So they did the thing with the race laws, and Roosevelt, who was the president of the United States at the time, was giving him shit, being like, oh, the Germans are oppressing these people, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words, and the exact words were in German anyway. But he pretty much said, hey, didn't you just finish wiping out the Native Americans like not even 20 fucking years ago? Like, you just finished the Indian Wars in like 1911, didn't you? Don't fucking tell me about persecuting minorities. Who the fuck do you think you are, dude? Like, are you going to argue with that? Come on. Jeez. So it's like, oh, the Germans have a monopoly on mass killing and racism. It's like, no. Everybody, every country, every government, everywhere has blood on its hands. They're all racist. They're all monstrous. All of them. So to single them out as like being extra evil because, well, why do you think? If you guys know a lot about 9/11, you might not. Cut to the chase. Mossad did it. They framed the Arabs to do it. Let's say these two. One yard is the Muslim house, and then the next yard is the Christian house, and you live across the street in the Israeli house. And in the Muslim house, you've got there's red stones in the front yard, right? And you walk over there at nighttime and you grab a big one and you throw it right through their fucking window into their daughter's room where they sleep. And you run across back to sleep and go to bed. The Christian guy wakes up and goes, what the fuck? Finds a rock clearly from the Muslim guy's yard and goes, you motherfucker. And they already hate each other. They already don't like each other. And you just sit across the street and go, that's basically that's the simplest way I can put 9/11. When you see the evidence, it's like mind-blowingly insane. How they got away with this. It's like, holy shit. Like, there's just, I don't remember watching some of this live. I don't know if any of you guys, how old a lot of you guys are, or what you saw or what you didn't see. I watched it live when it was happening, and I remember like, oh fuck, they caught a bunch of guys. They caught a bunch of dudes on the George Washington Bridge who were known as the Dancing Israelis. Because a woman saw these guys in New Jersey videotaping the attack happening real time live. And she's seeing it like, holy shit, from across the river in New Jersey. And down there on top of a parking garage roof, these guys are high-fiving and clapping and yeah, cheering, and they're flicking lighters and shit and dancing. And they look Arab because they're from Israel. So she calls the cops. The cops find them, pull them over, and they're in a van with explosives residue in the van. 5 guys get arrested. 2 of them are known Mossad agents. Not maybe, known. The FBI's like, that guy's definitely in fucking Mossad. We have his picture on the wall. And 3 other guys that are working with them, they arrest them, they're held for like 2 months, and then they just deport them back to Israel. Never fucking talked about it ever again. There's another thing called an Odigo messenger. This is something that Christopher Belinda got. This is all, Google away, I dare you. Try and prove me wrong. Odigo was like an instant messaging app. So for Jewish people in Hebrew. And on the day of 9/11, or in the hours afterwards, there were 4,000 missing persons. Like, we don't know where my father, my brother, whoever is, right? Like, as it was happening, they're calling, trying to locate these people. 4,000 supposedly Israeli people working in downtown New York. 4 of them died. 4 out of 4,000. That's like, what's that percentage? 1/10 of 1%? Because apparently, on this Odigo messaging system, precisely 2 hours before 8:45 when the first plane hit, at 6:45, they got a message that says, stay away from downtown New York today. Fucking you know, like, that's not my imagination. That's not ramblings of a crazy person. That's a fact. The 5 dancing Israelis arrested on the George Washington Bridge with explosives residue in the van on their fucking hands. That's a fact. They were deported, never, you know. And then you get all of these Arabs. They came and we found their passports in the wreckage here. And if you're not with us, you're with the terrorists. You know.
Done. And that's why I don't even like voting. I don't even want to vote. I don't think I should have the right to vote, because what is voting? It's essentially mob rule over resources and how those resources are distributed, et cetera, right? So that's what you're doing when you're voting for, like, a party that's like, I'm going to do this and all this with your money, right? So it's actually, the thing is, there's so many dumb people in the world and so many misinformed people that if they all voted, you know, it might be bad. But on certain issues, on a referendum, when it comes to immigration, then actually the majority of the public, you'd actually want them for that. But when it comes to a lot of other things, that's why I'm against democracy as a whole, because it's not a good system. You know, depending on thinking that the majority, like 1 billion people, are going to know how to, like, you know, decide what's best through, you know, democracy, what works, like that. That's never going to be good, right? There's